Welcome to U-Report. U-Report is all about giving young people in Uganda a platform where they can talk about the issues that are affecting their communities and engage in meaningful conversation. My name is Marcus.
My name is Melissa.
On the show today, we talk about education with a specific focus on teacher absenteeism.
Yes, and we want you to be a part of the conversation. So make sure you text JOIN, J-O-I-N, to 8500 to become a part of the conversation. Your voice matters and your voice needs to be heard. Now, let's hear from some U-reporters in the field.
Teachers stay out of class because they get really low pay. And think about like teaching over 1,000 students, and they get no pay, so it's better for them not to work and relax than working harder yet they're not going to get paid. It's better for them to do nothing or go and do their work, like certain work, maybe they have work out of teaching, then so they get more money than teaching yet they're not going to be paid.
If I refer to my school, as far as that issue of teachers not coming to class and they have gone outside for other economic activities, our headmaster has always tied, okay, not tied on them, but he used to tell them, if you have other activities outside school, you have to make sure that you do them outside class time.
I have friends who are teachers, but they're all complaining the salary comes so late on top of being so little. You can't expect me to go, like, I have to pay house rent, I have kids to take to school, and I have my personal belongings. You can't expect me to go continue with that without having a salary.
Every day, about 1,000 children are newly infected with HIV. Most of them are born in sub-Saharan Africa. In order to reach an AIDS-free generation, we must get to 0 new HIV infections. How do we get to 0? Test mothers and babies and give them the medicines they need. Treat and counsel those living with HIV and also focus on prevention. Let's get to 0.
Welcome back to U-Report. So we just heard from our U-reporters, and we heard some really insightful things, them talking about education, teacher absenteeism, and corporal punishment.
And U-reporters always have amazing things to say every time they get in touch.
Yes.
If we look at some of the comments that have come in over the weeks on education, we have Atanansi Ngulu who says, he wants to hear about good teaching techniques by teachers in primary schools.
Yes, and we have a U-reporter right here in Kampala who said, many children in my village are denied their right of education, not because their parents wish to, but their parents are poor and they really can't afford even the UPE schools because of the increased charges by the head teachers of these schools. That's the main problem facing children in my village.
Now, you too can be a U-reporter. It's very simple, it's free, and it takes just a minute. Go to your mobile phone, go to the messages, text the word JOIN to the number 8500. We'd love to hear your comments because your voice matters. Now we hear what some more of our U-reporters have to say, and when we come back, we talk to Mr. Mukasa from the Ministry of Education and Sports, and we're talking about teacher absenteeism. We'll be right back.
When the teachers did not attend class, we missed a lot because at first, when you're in school, you don't notice that you're missing. You enjoy that free time. But afterwards, when you are coming closer to the examination period, you realize that we had much to cover, yet it was very little time left for us to concentrate. So it affected us much, because if we had concentrated during that time, if we had used our time properly, maybe I would have achieved better results than what I achieved.
As a teacher, sincerely speaking, someone to miss classes or to dodge students, that person is not born as a teacher. To go into that profession, you have to have it intrinsically in your heart.
Okay, teachers in my school don't miss classes over strong reasons. Yeah, they are always in class and they teach students very well, because most of the time they attend to us and they teach us. Because for what I know, we have not been dodging classes. Yeah, they've been attending to us.
When I was still in the UPE program, some teachers used to miss classes because they are claiming that they get little salaries, so they start their own business in villages so that they can add on what is being given to them by the government.
My name is Omara Daniel. I'm 18 years old. The people, when they see the lame person, they think it got nothing to do. You see me today sitting on a wheelchair, but I'm schooling also. I do like basketball. Playing basketball make me feel happy with my friends. The disabled people, don't sit down and think you are lame, you can't do anything. You can make the world shine.
Welcome back to U-Report. My name is Melissa.
And my name is Marcus.
Today we are talking about teacher absenteeism. What is it? What is it about? All those juicy things we want to know. And so fortunately for us, we have a guest speaker to talk to us here today. This is Mr. Mukasa. Please introduce yourself for the audience and tell them a bit about yourself.
My name is Charles Tone Mukasa Lusambu. I'm the Assistant Commissioner in charge of primary education in the Ministry of Education and Sports.
Mr. Mukasa, you're most welcome to U-Report.
Thank you very much.
Just so that we are on the same page, would you prefer to be called Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Mukasa, Mr. Lusambu? What name should we use as we talk about teacher absenteeism?
It would be good if you call me Tone or you call Mr. Mukasa.
Mr. Mukasa. I think Mr. Mukasa is more appropriate.
Yes.
Wow, thank you.
Yes.
Can you help us understand exactly what is teacher absenteeism?
Yes, teacher absenteeism can be put in two categories. There is official teacher absenteeism and there is unofficial teacher absenteeism.
What is the difference?
Yeah.
The difference is that with official teacher absenteeism, the teacher is absent from the classroom or from the school because of some official permission granted and is away because of a cause that has been known by the immediate supervisor. For example, a teacher can be absent because he has gone to a meeting.
Okay.
A teacher can be absent because he's on a sick leave. A teacher can be absent because he's on maternity leave. That's official absenteeism.
So the unofficial?
The unofficial absenteeism is where the teacher is absent from the school or from the classroom, but nobody knows his or her whereabouts. Did not report at all. Maybe he's doing personal business, maybe he's doing home chores, but did not report his or her absence
supervisor.
To the supervisor.
Now, when we were talking backstage, you told us that there's not necessarily anything in place for teachers that have official absenteeism. So when they leave, there's not a substitute teacher that can come in and replace that teacher. What are the plans to kind of correct that?
Yes, indeed. This is one of the challenges now we are faced with in the Ministry of Education and Sports, that official absenteeism in terms of teachers has no replacement. Yeah. And when a teacher is absent officially, the pupils that would be taught by such a teacher miss out. So Ministry of Education and Sports is now planning to initiate a program called Relief Teachers. We are to recruit relief teachers who shall be in a place to wait for situations where the teacher is absent from the classroom.
They stand in when official absenteeism is the situation.
Exactly.
But how does that work now when a teacher cannot come in and there's no relief teacher to support?
The situation is not really good, I must tell you. I must be sincere to you. Okay. At school level today, when a teacher is absent, either officially or unofficially, this class misses out. And what happens now is the onus of the head teacher and his staff to sit and see how to cater for that class. So normally a teacher or two will slot in, and that means an extra work from the ordinary work in the classrooms.
You're watching your report. When we come back, we talk more with Mr. Mukasa about teacher absenteeism. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Komakechi Dennis. I'm 17 years old. I am totally blind, but my mind is not blind. Very many people are blind about the disabled. Me is the living example that disabled can do a lot. A blind person can use a computer, though he or she cannot see. I am moving together with the world because disability is not inability. It is not inability.
Welcome back to Your Report. My name is Marcus.
And I'm Melissa.
And today we're talking about teacher absenteeism. With us in the studio is Mr. Mukasa from the Ministry of Education and Sports. And we want to look at what are some of the causes of what you have described as unofficial absenteeism.
Yeah, there are quite a number of reasons why a teacher could be absent unofficially. In the first place is carelessness, because this teacher has not been able to communicate to the immediate supervisor. So secondly, sometimes they get out of their way and decide to go on for their own businesses during school time. Another reason could be because of the distance that they travel from school to their homes, because we lack teachers' houses in many cases. So some of the teachers really travel long distances
to get to the classroom.
To the classroom. So sometimes they find themselves too tired to walk back to school, and maybe there is no easy communication to inform the head teacher. But I must say that official or unofficial, teacher absenteeism is very dangerous to the teaching and learning process of our children.
Mr. Mukasa, are the cases of unofficial teacher absenteeism high?
Oh yes, in some cases, especially where we find a head teacher who is not very keen on ensuring that the teachers report daily for their school work. So you will find that there is a lot of laissez-faire in a school. And if the head teacher cannot question why teacher John was absent yesterday, he will find himself absenting himself now and again.
But aren't teachers justified in trying to make ends meet? Because aren't they some of the most poorly paid public servants?
Definitely.
So if they don't show up and Zay Mulira gives me a better deal for 10 minutes than the school, why don't I go where I get the bread?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, well said. But look, there is an obligation. Once you accept that you'll be a teacher at a given moment, there are pupils waiting for you at that particular moment. So I would prefer, if you think you are really poorly paid and this salary cannot sustain you, you'd rather leave the teaching profession for that moment, and then report and say, I will not be able to teach this year. Please let me teach again next year, so that that period we know that you are not away. Therefore, another teacher will be in your place.
So we know that poor salaries is one reason for unofficial teacher absenteeism. What are other reasons? Why is it happening so often?
Yeah, it's happening so often because there is also sickness.
Okay.
There is also sickness, and we are now hit by this HIV/AIDS pandemic also. Many teachers also fall sick, and sometimes they may not be able to report why they will be absent tomorrow, and so on and so forth.
So can we very quickly look at what the students can do? How do young people engage the issue?
Yes. In many schools now, we have grouped our pupils into special groups, special learning groups. And the advice is that if a class realizes that their teacher is absent, then they should get into groups and start discussing what they would be learning or what they learned yesterday.
So they teach themselves?
They can teach themselves.
That's interesting.
Wow.
And in other instances, some schools have engaged extra teachers, call them private teachers, who are catered for by the school management committee.
So when does the absenteeism, the unofficial one, is it criminal, and what circumstances
what are the consequences,
yes,
right?
if I don't show up, do I lose my salary? What happens?
It's not criminal, but it's an offense. It is really an offense in the education circles if a teacher absentees himself unofficially. And the law says if you are absent from duty for 3 consecutive weeks, then the head teacher has to write to the district education officer, and measures shall start. You can be reprimanded, you can be put on suspension, and so on and so forth. And in extreme cases, you are even dismissed.
When we come back, we take a look at some more issues to do with teacher absenteeism, and we also talk about corporal punishment in schools. We'll be right back. This is Your Report. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to U-Report. I am Melissa, and we have some guests joining us today. These women are from GEM. Please introduce yourselves.
My name is Fatuma Wamala from Girls Education Movement, working as the Deputy Executive Director. GEM is about focusing on girls and boys. It's just the ratios that differ, 70% and 30% boys, but it's child-centered, young people-centered, child-led and young people-led organization.
Well, nice to have you with us.
Yes.
And you are?
My name is Sarah Alitua. I work with GEM Uganda as a program manager, heading one of their departments.
Sarah, you're most welcome to Your Report.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, we would like to figure out the question of corporal punishment. Mr. Mukasa,
yes,
what is corporal punishment?
Corporal punishment is the type of punishment which is subjected to a person and it inflicts pain directly on the body.
What are the effects of corporal punishment on students and their education? And this is for everybody.
Yeah. The effects are quite enormous. Yeah? But first and foremost, corporal punishments humiliate the victim. And it sort of reduces the self-esteem in a person, let alone, of course, causing bodily harm.
But Fatuma, wouldn't you say that in the African context, punishment with a rod is the way you raise a child?
Yeah. Spare the rod, beat the child.
Yeah.
Like someone was saying.
Yes, actually, the Bible says that, spare the rod and spare the child.
So I'm being a good Christian if I apply. That's isn't that so? Yeah.
Yes, that would be right in a certain way, but it has come to be realized that in school, when a child is beaten or pain is inflicted, they come to hate school. That's why, for example, a parent wakes up a child in the morning and they cry, and some of them have to end on a way. Why? Because school is not friendly, and they prefer to stop on the way. So it has an impact on the attendance of the child in school, that you may think your child is in school, yet they're not there.
So they're physically present, but mentally they are
somewhere
absent.
Yeah. And actually, it is one of the causes of child dropout from school.
So,
wow.
So are we saying that we should eliminate punishment from the education system?
No.
So what's the alternative?
The alternative is there. But let me first read a paragraph to you about corporal punishment here. Physical and humiliating punishments increase the use of violence in society and make violence acceptable in the eyes of the subsequent generations.
So it becomes a cycle.
So
It becomes a cycle that the children think it's okay, then the public also continues to think that it is okay to be violent.
So how does GEM, as an organization, help communities learn the alternative way of punishing? But even before we go to that, what is the alternative way? Because all I know growing up is you do something wrong, you get the stick on the bottom.
Yes.
So what is the alternative?
The alternatives are quite enormous, and it starts with us changing our parenting, changing the way we parent.
But how?
It goes with taking a bit of more time to understand the child and to entice them around doing things the way you want them to be done. Maybe it starts with the bonding, I should say. Once your child realizes that, feels that bondage, even when you just get angry with them, they will realize mommy is angry.
So that is within the parenting context. What about within the school context, Mr. Mukasa?
In the school context, we advocate for what is called positive discipline. And in positive discipline is where we have a child who has behaved indifferently, subjected to items like guiding, counseling, and you could also give simple punishments. Positive discipline involves simple punishments, like, for example, you could tell a child to sweep the class during the sweeping time. You could also tell a child to keep in the classroom while the others at break time playing, and you say, sit in the class and write an apology.
About what you did.
About what you did. But I must also inform the listeners that any punishment that exempts a child from a lesson
is not
allowed and very unprofessional.
We have a message from one of our U-reporters in the field, and Melissa is going to read that to us and see what comes of that. Melissa, what does the message say?
So this U-reporter is from Wakisu, and they said, how do we protect children from abuse and defilement by figures of authority, aka teachers, child NGO workers, church leaders, etc.?
Sarah.
In GEM, we empower young people with life skills such that they can be able to protect themselves. Because
when you say life skills, kung fu, what do you mean?
No, life skills, for example, of assertiveness, self-esteem, peer resistance, and self-control. That there are times you will not be with that child to follow them up and say no. If a guy says this, say no. You won't be there. So she needs to have those life skills developed within herself.
A sense of security.
Yes, it's a sense of security, and she'll be able to resist that.
Maybe in addition to that, it's very important to empower our children with knowledge and information. That's the other thing we're doing in GEM. So it's a powerful.
So when you say knowledge and information, Mr. Mukasa, you read from this very lovely handbook.
Yeah.
Knowledge and information, but from where?
Yes, knowledge and information from school. And in Ministry of Education and Sports, we came up with this write-up, which is entitled Alternatives to Corporal Punishment.
If I could just hold that up for the camera.
Please, yeah.
There are alternatives to...
there are alternatives to corporal punishment. And in there, you will find that the parents, the teachers, and other elders have alternatives which they can use to punish and correct the children instead of subjecting corporal punishments to them. And with that kind of corporal punishment, the children will not be safe. What they are talking about here is a result of corporal punishment. But without it, with positive discipline, the children will develop self-esteem.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. There's so much more we could talk about.
But really quickly, can Mr. Mukasa tell us where we can access this book?
Yes,
and where parents can access
Where can parents and teachers access this?
These books are available in our teacher training colleges, and we have officers called CCT, Center Coordinating Tutors, which exist in almost every sub-county. You can access
this information. To all our guests, thank you so much for making time to be with us on U-Report. Now remember, you can be a U-Reporter. Go to your mobile phone, go to the messages, text the word join, and then send that to 8500. It's absolutely free, applicable on every network, and get in on the conversation because your voice matters. From me, Marcus, and
Melissa.
Thanks a lot for watching, and from the crew, we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.